Rainey. Welcome back to my channel, and welcome to the much anticipated everybody putting up their Jane Austen July TBRs. Now, this for me is just going to be my overall July TBR because I'm doing other things. I'm doing another readathon besides Jane Austen July, I know. Shocking. And I have a couple of non-Jane Austen related buddy reads that I am doing. So I have a ton of books, like way overkill, as you do when you're on BookTube, on my TBR, as you might be able to see. Let me see if I can show you. But these are my 3 categories of books based on readathon or, whatever. And my ice water because, ooh, it's hot, real hot. There's been other times when I put up my Jane Austen July TBR and I've been drinking a cup of hot tea. Not today. No. Okay, let's resituate you so I'm not so close to the camera. Okay. All right, you're just getting the one-take wonder today. Let's start with the non-Jane Austen related readathon that I'm doing. And that readathon is Cozweek, hosted by Courtney over at Cortaginist. I can never say her channel name, but I will link it below. Courtney's birthday is in July, so for the week of her birthday, which is July 5th through the 11th, she is hosting her annual Cozweek, which has kind of transitioned from being all about cozy mysteries to now just being about any book that makes you feel cozy. This year she is doing a this or that on Instagram, and you can post your books based on your answers for the this or that. That I believe I think she has it on her stories, probably saved in the highlights. I'll have to check that out. I haven't checked that out yet. Because Jane Austen makes me feel cozy, and some of the other books that I have on my my TBR for the month of July also make me feel cozy, I decided to go with the OG Cortaginist idea and have my TBR for that specific readathon be Cozy Mysteries. And that is this pile. So, as you might be able to see, most of these books are the Port Danby series by London Lovett. And I was gifted most of these lovely books for my birthday. And I have been trying to read them since my birthday, which was in early May. So at this point, almost 2 months. And I have not gotten to a single one yet. So my goal for the week of Cozweek is to binge as many of the Port Danby series that I still have left as I can, which is, let's look, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I have 6 books in my possession that I still need to read. There is another book that just came out. I mean, she really churns out these books that I do not currently own, but I would like to get through these 6 books before I allow myself to buy the next one. Now, the only book on that TBR stack that is not a Port Danby book is The Montagnard Stars by Sarah Fox. And this is the 3rd in the literary pub mystery series. And I bought this a while ago, probably at the end of 2020, with the idea of reading it for the one we do in September or December that is totally escaping me, Cloak and Dagger Christmas. That's the one. But I didn't get to it. So, and I, again, just kept putting it on my TBRs and never getting into it. So hopefully this is the month, and hopefully the 5th through the 11th is the week. So next, let's talk about my non-readathon related reads that I have for this month. And number 1 is The Magician by Kathleen Shoup. Now, you may have remembered that I read a couple of books in a Denora collection series starting last year with my friend Amanda from her Pacific Northwest Washington life. And this series is all set in the town of Denora, Pennsylvania, which is near me, like an hour from me. So Amanda and I have been waiting for the third book in the collection to come out, and this book follows the son of the characters from the previous book in the series, which was called The Strong Man and the Mermaid. And the character in this book is Stan Musial, who is an actual famous baseball player who was born and grew up in Denora, Pennsylvania. So I'm interested to see how Kathleen kind of weaves this story. And I looked in it, and it kind of looks like it follows the style of the second book, where we get some flashbacks from more modern day and a group of characters in modern day, and they're looking back on the past. So that should be interesting. And the next one that I have that is not part of a readathon, but it is part of a read-along, is going to be In This Mountain by Jan Karon. And this is I think we're on the 6th or the 7th book. I think the 7th book in the Mitford Years series, and this is for a read-along that I have been hosting with my friends Kate Howe, Angie from Literary Labors, and Chelsea from Voyage of a Time Wanderer, and we have been really enjoying the series so far. It's just so cozy. And these are part of the later books, which we have heard mixed things about. So far I have enjoyed every book in the series. So we will see if I continue that trend. I hope so. And now let's talk about Jane Austen July. So I am not going to necessarily be following all the prompts this year. I decided I was not going to try to read a nonfiction about Jane Austen or her time period. With all these books that I have going on in right now, I don't think that I would be able to have enough interest in that for in a nonfiction. So I just decided to stick with fiction, and actually I am just going to try to read as many Jane Austen books as I can. So I might participate in the read-alongs of Mansfield Park and Persuasion, but probably not. Maybe Mansfield Park, but Persuasion I just recently read for last Jane Austen July, where I did a themed Jane Austen July around Persuasion and Persuasion retellings and things. So I kind of think that I'm going to stay away from at least that one. But I might participate in the Mansfield Park, maybe via audiobook, because I have made a book purchase, and so I want to read a couple of them physically. So in years past, for my Jane Austen July TBRs, you have seen me pull out this bad boy, which is a compilation, basically, of all of her 6 novels and Lady Susan, which they consider the 7th novel, which, yeah, I guess it is. Yeah, sure, that's what we'll go with. And this is great, and it's lovely, and I would like to keep it on my shelf. However, it is not really conducive to actually physically reading. So it made it a little harder to pull out the book and read them. So I often would reread the books via audiobook. So I was on Instagram, and I saw one of the people that I follow had the word cloud editions of Jane Austen's novels. And I have been toying with the idea of either getting the Penguin Clothbound Classics editions, or just some other maybe paperback versions that would be easier to take around with me. But I really, really decided that I love the word cloud editions. So I bought one because the entire set all at one time was like, I don't know, like $100 or something on Amazon. So I just bought first Sense and Sensibility, and I just love these colors. And I will be buddy reading this with Victoria from A Musical Bookworm, and I'm very excited about it. The font, let's look at the font. The font is actually pretty easy to read, I think. I think it's big enough that it's not going to be a big deal. Hopefully I didn't open that onto a spoilery page. So don't read it if you don't want spoilers, because I don't know what I opened to. But I am really excited to physically read this with Victoria. I don't actually know. I don't think Victoria has ever read this one. I feel like this was one that she hadn't read yet. And I have read it a couple of times and seen the Kate Winslet and Emma Thompson version of movie version about 1 million times. So I really love this novel. I know that's kind of maybe an unpopular opinion. People don't seem to like this one as much, but I really love it. I love the sister relationship. Some of the, well, let's say Colonel Brandon is the best, but some of the other romantic leads in this are maybe a little bit not the greatest, but yeah, Colonel Brandon, love him. So I'm very excited for this one. And it turns out that my friend Angie from Literary Labors wanted to read with us too, but we got confused as to which one we were planning on reading. So Angie and Bobby Sue Davis and I will be buddy reading Northanger Abbey together. And I mean, as you do, I then bought the Northanger Abbey edition of this, but it is not here yet. It will be here tomorrow, but I felt the need to film today. So, but you get the idea of what it's going to look like. I think the cover of that one is purple. I forget, but I'm very excited about it nonetheless. Now, something that I don't have a cover for or even a physical copy of from my library or anything is Lover's Vows, and I actually don't remember who the author of this play is, but it is the play that is performed in Mansfield Park, and it creates somewhat of a scandal. And Katie from Books and Things is planning to read this play this month, and that made me think that I would also like to read this play this month. So I did find an audio, or did I find an audiobook? I think I did. I think I found an audiobook version, which I usually do not like to listen to plays via audiobook. But I think I also found the book version of the play. So I will in some way, shape, or form be reading this book. And if I can, I would like to find a performance of it to watch. So usually YouTube is a good source of like bad high school plays or something like that. So, which if this one's real scandalous, I hope that no high schools would perform it, but one never knows. And lastly, on my Jane Austen July TBR is The Other Bennet Sister by Janice Hadlow, sorry. And this one, of course, has been going around the YouTubes for probably a couple of years now, and I just have never gotten to it. So I am really excited to read this. I think originally, because it is a retelling of Pride and Prejudice from Mary's perspective, I had read a really bad retelling from Mary's perspective a couple of years ago, and I think I have been kind of gun shy for Pride and Prejudice retellings ever since. So, but pretty much everybody who has read this has loved it, and I don't think that I have ever heard a bad review of it. So yeah, I'm really pretty pumped about this. And it's kind of a chunker, so I may actually read this on audiobook. But I wanted to at least get it from my library so that I would have a copy to hold up for you. What we do for BookTube. And yeah, friends, that is my stack. I don't think I forgot anything. I am still reading Les Miserables with my friend Felicia from Little Prairie Library. We have not talked about it yet this month, though, so I don't know how far she is, and I am not as far as I would like to be. But I am enjoying what I have read so far, so I'm going to continue with that. But who knows if that will get really any time in July. I'm going to try. But, you know, I didn't even count how many books I have on this TBR stack, but it's a lot. So I don't know how this will go. But anyway, friends, I hope you are excited for July. I hope that you are dealing with the heat. If it is really super hot where you are, I know my friends out west are getting like 120-degree temps this week. It hit 100 for me today. So that is why I am glowing, if you notice that. I'm hot. But yes, I hope you are excited for July. Ooh, big news. Shakespeare in the Park is back in July in my town. I'm very excited to go see it. They didn't do auditions, so they just, I guess, asked people to be in it this time, probably because they weren't sure what the heck was going to happen, you know, since things got canceled all through last year, which, you know, it's fine because it is super duper hot and I would have been miserable out there. So more power to those people that are out there doing this, because I will gladly go and watch you in shorts and a t-shirt instead of full length dresses. So great. But yes, I'm very excited that live theater is starting back up again, even if it's just for me to go watch, which is perfectly fine with me at this stage in my life. I will be a willing spectator. So anyway, that's not what you're here for. So I will let you go. And if you are participating in Jane Austen July, or if you are participating in Cozweek, let me know. Tell me if you have a TBR video, or if you don't have a channel, just tell me what you're planning on reading. And I will talk to you soon. Okay, bye friends.